Boom, what it is YouTube, it's your boy here, Ali Fuladi, back at it again with another video here on Fooladifitness. You already know what's going on. But if you're new to this channel and don't know what's going on, this channel is me helping you guys elevate your lives mentally, physically, and spiritually. So if you're on that type time, and make sure you join the Fooladifitness family, the gangway, by hitting that red subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure you drop me a like, leave me a comment, and also turn on that post notification ring bell so you get notified next time I drop some heat for you guys. Man, it's been a minute, am I right? Your boy's hiatus has finally come to an end. I had to unplug to set up a lot of behind the scenes stuff of Fooladifitness to take this channel and this brand to the next level. So with all that stuff situated now, it's time to get back at it and get busy. And honestly, it feels real good to be back on camera. I'm hyped to get this show back on the road and take it up another notch. So with all that said, I hope you guys are excited as well to embark on this journey with me. And now let's get into the topic of today's video. You read the title. Today we're going to be discussing and breaking down my 1-year body transformation. So enough of all that long talk, cue the new intro. Alright guys, before we get into the meat and potatoes of my transformation, I need to lay down some background stories so you guys have context of where I'm coming from before we get into this transformation. And as we're going through this video, I'm going to be throwing up clips and pictures of the whole transformation process. So stay tuned and stay with me. So growing up, I've always been the skinny, scrawny, and lanky kid. And when I mean skinny, I mean skinny.
He needs some milk.
Now don't get it twisted. I was not no weak pushover, but I was just really skinny and just could not add on weight to my frame. I was never a picky eater or someone that you had to force to eat. I just was burning through those calories like no tomorrow. And this was due to basketball being my main focus at the time. And for all you hoopers out there watching this, you already know how hard it is to gain weight when you're running 4, 5, 6 pickup games a day every single day. And at this time during my high school years, my schedule was looking something like this. Go to school, go to practice, go to a game, and if we didn't have any games or it was the off season, I would walk over to the gym, do some drills or run some pickup for about 2 to 3 hours at a time. And I'm talking about I'm doing this every single day religiously 3 to 4 years straight. But as time went on and reality kicked in, my hoop dreams started to deflate right before my eyes. But this grind and work ethic that was built in me through all the time and effort I put into basketball stuck with me and needed a place to transition to. And due to the fact that I still had access to the gym, I decided to take up working out. Now when I was really on my hoop grind, I didn't take lifting seriously. The basketball was the main priority. The most I would do at this time is jumping workouts and squats because I wanted to dunk, and work on my arms because I thought that would help me shoot better. So when your boy made his transition from basketball to weightlifting and working out, the first thing he did was research on YouTube. And like many novices and beginners who want to start working out and go search on YouTube, we find the biggest dude out there and follow their advice. And little did I know at this time that all these fitness influencers and the biggest dudes out there were stacked on drugs. So the advice I was following was from people who were taking steroids, and I expected to get the same results. And due to this, I was following the general bro split of doing a chest day, back day, arm day, leg day, shoulder day, all that stuff. And as a beginner with weightlifting, you're gonna make gains regardless of what program you're doing, since this is a new stimulus to your body. Now I was using mainly things like machines and cables because that's all I saw and that's all I knew at the time, not really understanding that these big compound lifts are where everyone needs to start. Now this isolation pump and fluff work was working for the time being, but as the years went on, I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to see and that these people were claiming that I would see. Now fast forward about 2 years of running that novice bro split program, your boy decided to take things to the next level. At this time, I've just entered college and started my studies on kinesiology. And if you don't know what that is, kinesiology is basically the study of how the body works and moves together. So I'm learning things like anatomy, biomechanics, physiology, and finding out a way how I can implement that into my own training programs.
So you do have a plan? Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
So by accumulating all this knowledge through research, I really wanted to take things to the next level. And my main priority was still adding on weight. Now, mind you, before this, I had really no understanding of nutrition. I was just eating whatever was in front of me. But at this time now, since I was older and I was a bit more independent, I decided to take my diet and my nutrition in my own hands. So starting in September of 2019, I decided to track my calories and actually make a real program to make gains. I was still following a basic routine of push-pull legs, but this was definitely an upgrade from the novice bro splits I was running from before. But what really changed was my diet and my nutrition. For all you hard gainers out there, I really encourage you guys to try tracking your calories for at least 1 week. At the time, I thought I was eating more than enough and I was eating a lot. But in reality, when I started tracking my calories, I was shocked. Prior to tracking my calories, I was only eating around 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. Now, this is a pretty normal range for an average person, but you have to take into account I had a high metabolism. I was still kind of playing basketball here and there, and I really wanted to gain weight. So I decided to go balls deep into this book and raise my daily calorie intake to 4,000. And for all you people out there that actually know what 4,000 calories actually looks and feels like, you know what I'm talking about. This is a considerably big intake of food for a guy that was only eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories max a day. But I was really hell-bent on finally gaining weight. And to give you guys a little bit more details, I was not eating junk, but I was definitely not eating the highest quality of foods out there. But for the time being, that wasn't really a priority. I just wanted to get big finally. So my starting weight was at 166 pounds. And my goal was from September all the way till January to gain 20 pounds and reach the number of 185 pounds. So my goal was basically to gain 4 pounds every month. And let me tell you, bumping up your calories to about 4,000 a day will get the job done when it comes to weight gain. Best believe me. I was staying consistent to this and working on the big compound lifts at the time, and I was really trying to push myself to get to that next level. And as the weeks went on, weight was being added to my frame at a rapid rate. Now I felt like I finally cracked the code and was finally gonna get big. But little did I know there was a difference between getting big and bloated versus actually adding on quality lean muscle mass. But soon I started to realize that the hard way. As I'm adding on this weight quickly, my body fat percentage is going up and it's apparent. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because if you do bulk, even if you do it properly, you're going to add some body fat onto your frame regardless. But this was at a rate my body couldn't take at the time. I started to feel sluggish, I started to feel bloated, and I started to feel inflamed in all of my joints. Mind you, the only things I was taking seriously at the time was my lifting and my nutrition. I was neglecting a lot of the other important things like mobility, sleep, and recovery. And for anyone who's actually transformed their body knows the importance of these other areas. But the type of drive and determination I have makes me want to grind and accomplish those goals I set out, no matter what the obstacles are in my way. So I was still hammering the weights when my body was taking a toll, my joints and everything were inflamed, still stuffing my face with 4,000 calories a day, even though I was not feeling good at the time. To me, the only thing that mattered was that the scale was going up, so I was on the right track. And when I finally reached 2 January, your boy ended up with a weight of 188 pounds. Now, mind you, I do not like how I look at this weight, but I thought that getting big was going to get me to that type of body that I've always wanted. Now, my next move was obviously to cut and see the muscle gain I've made throughout this whole bulk. So I started this up in February, cutting down my calories back to a normal range. But as we all know, the whole world made a huge shift March 2020. You already know what I'm talking about, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably brain dead or living under a rock for the past couple of years. Everything started shut down, from schools to stores and even the gyms. So desperate times called for desperate measures. Your boy was still focused on his fitness but didn't know how to make it happen. So I had to resort to the only things I had in my arsenal at the time. And this brings me to a calisthenics park I had nearby my place to still get my workouts in. And man, when I first started implementing calisthenics during this time, I realized how weak and incompetent I was with my own body and my own body weight. But instead of using the defense mechanism that calisthenics can't build muscle, bro, there's no weights involved, man, I decided to take this as a challenge and actually work on the things I was terrible at. And this included things like my mobility, my flexibility, and my endurance, because it was shot at the time from being at such a high body fat percentage. And at this time, your boy decided to dip back into the hoop game whenever he could since they were still open. And man, when I tell you, I realized at this moment I might have made a huge mistake. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Your boy is at the local park trying to play some pickup basketball like he usually would back in the day. But the main difference now is that I'm 188 pounds. So when I'm running and jumping up and down the court, I am really feeling this extra weight on me. All my movements are slow. I'm out there huffing and puffing. And when we got done, my body was aching to a point I've never experienced that in my entire life. Now that day was truly a blessing in disguise because it made me really think, yo, was that rapid weight gain really worth all this stuff that you're going through now? And at this time, I really dropped my ego and understood that I made a mistake and now I needed to figure out a way to fix it. So with all that said, now this is where the fun starts and the real transformation and journey takes place. So now one day I go to the calisthenics park and one of my homies is there also working out. This guy was taking calisthenics seriously right when everything started to close down back in March. And when I pulled up and saw what he was doing, I was immediately drawn into calisthenics. No joke, I walked up on this dude doing a handstand push-up and my mind was blown. I had never seen anyone do that in real life to this point. I've seen YouTube videos of it, I've seen Instagram videos of it, but I thought only gymnasts or elite calisthenics people could achieve that. So from that day on, I decided to research more about calisthenics. And mind you, through this time, I'm eating at a more normal range and I'm losing some of the extra body weight and extra fat that I added on with that bulk. And now after researching calisthenics, I noticed that all these dudes were jacked as hell. Not only were they built, but they were actually mobile and functional at the same time. So now I'm spending most of my time at this calisthenics park just experimenting with it. And this park has a crazy view. It's in the summertime, the sun is out. I'm feeling really good when I'm working out and I'm feeling connected to my body for once. And as this process and experimentation phase is going through, I noticed my body started to lean out a little bit more. From 188, your boy's back down into the 160 ranges. Yes, I lost all that mass and that size, but I'm feeling a lot better doing calisthenics. Now we come to September of 2020, a full year from when I decided to bulk and actually take my training seriously. And now your boy decided to go all in into rebuilding his body and learning from the past mistakes. Through accumulating more knowledge about training throughout this time, I had a better idea of what I can do with my body. And in addition to this, I also decided to take things like my mobility, my sleep, my diet, and my overall lifestyle more seriously. I realized I never built up a proper foundation from the start of my journey. So at this point, I'm completely thinned out from that bulk. I'm starting at a weight even skinnier than I was from before the bulk. And as you see here, your boy was at 148 pounds, a 40-pound difference from the peak of my bulk at 188. But I wasn't complaining and I was ready to get to work. So basically your boy broke it down and got back to the basics. I'm talking push-ups, pull-ups, dips, rows, all that good stuff. And simply by doing this and being way more focused when I work out due to me being alone and out in nature, I was making progress that I never thought I was going to make. And it also felt like I was building up that general strength that I was missing out on when I first started working out following the novice bro split program. All those machines and all those cables I was using did not teach me how to use my body properly and actually build strength from within my body. And now through the practice of calisthenics, I was actually tapping into that strength that I was missing out on from before. And to me, in my own humble opinion, this is the base of your strength that you need to build first to then build upon. And now the next step or phase in this journey was entering the use of gymnastic rings. And man, immediately this was a game changer. For anyone that uses rings, you know the first time you hop on them, you are humbled. Now I had some decent strength built up before I started using these rings, but right when I hopped onto them, I'm shaking like a damn smoothie. This is due to how unstable the rings are built. You're going to be working working the stabilizing muscles you've never felt before in your entire life. And due to how they're built, since they can move in any direction, it allows your body to move freely and it accommodates for how your body is built. And I'm putting this work in consistently on the bars, on the rings, when it comes to my diet, my mobility, my flexibility. And with all that together, I'm seeing my whole body and my lifestyle morphing before my eyes. But I was hungry to learn more about this practice and ways I could improve upon it, which brings me to the next step or next phase of my journey, entering in weighted calisthenics. I had decided to invest into a weight vest as well as a dip belt to add on external loads to the basic movements I was doing with calisthenics. And man, my body immediately responded to the weighted calisthenics and started to grow at a rate I never seen before. I'm telling you, my chest was making gains, my shoulders, my arms, my back, my whole entire upper body was blowing up. And I also discovered that this became the most enjoyable way of training for me. And this is a very overlooked aspect of fitness. Fitness should be fun and enjoyable for you. Because trust me, when you're not interested in the way you train, you're not going to go as hard when things get tough. So I'm having the time of my life doing calisthenics, weighted calisthenics, using the rings, and my body is also enjoying and responding to it very well. And another thing that happened at this time is that I became very intrigued into how strong I could actually become when it came to the weighted calisthenics movements. Not only was it giving me the gains I've always wanted, but it also posed a challenge into how strong I can get with these movements. I really wanted to see how high of numbers I could reach when it comes to weighted calisthenics for the overall future. So I decided to use more of a powerlifting type of mindset when it came to these movements. My programming was now focused into ways I could progress my strength with these movements, because I noticed every time I started getting stronger and adding on more weight to these movements, I was also getting more muscle mass to my frame. And it was a fun, competitive challenge to see if I could outdo myself from the training session from before. And for all my people out there who mess with weighted calisthenics, you know what I'm saying and you know how I felt at that time. I don't know what it is with this type of training, but it started to really click with me. And even though my upper body was growing, the lower body wasn't getting the love that it needed. I don't care how many bodyweight squats you do. I don't care how many bodyweight lunges you do. If you want your legs to grow, they respond best to heavier loads. So now with a good base I'm working with through doing calisthenics, I decided to add in weights to my training. And I noticed the carryover from calisthenics to weights immediately. My form was a lot cleaner with these movements due to calisthenics really training your core to stay stable. My mobility was finally on point because I started to take it seriously. My overall body awareness of where I was in time and space was at another level. And most importantly, I was doing all these movements without pain or discomfort. So at this point, the strength is rising, I'm adding muscle, I'm feeling good, and everything is coming together finally. And looking back, I'm learning from all the mistakes I've made in my past and correcting them methodically along the way. And through persistent effort, finally after 1 year, I made the transformation I was looking from the start. So after 1 year, your boy went from 148 pounds to now 158 pounds. But if you really look at it, I assure you that most of this was solid lean muscle mass added to my frame. And when I say 158 pounds, you guys may agree or may not agree, it didn't really look like I was only 158 pounds. Calisthenics really helps you add on lean muscle to the right areas. So when it came to the numbers on the scale, I decided to kind of take that with a grain of salt and really focus more on about how I felt, how I moved, and how I looked. And I can say after 1 year of proper training, I'm feeling better than ever, I'm moving better than ever, and I'm looking better than ever. This whole journey and process really made me fall in love with training. I really wanted to dive in deep and research about all the different aspects and facets when it comes to training and taking your body to the next level. And as you know, if you've been keeping up with this channel, my main focus and my main goal with this is to help you guys reach the max potential of your lives mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I plan to do that by leading through example and showing you guys and documenting the process along the way. This 1 year body transformation really taught me how things are so integrated when it comes to life. If you're actively out there trying to improve your mental health, your physical health, and spiritual health will also take benefits from it. And the same thing can be said if you're trying to actively improve yourself physically as well as spiritually. Everything is interconnected and works together as a unit. That's the whole notion of this brand's motto of having a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit soul. If you want to be the most complete version of yourself, you got to make sure the foundation is set up properly. Working on those aspects day in and day out is a guaranteed way to live a happy, healthy, and prosperous life. So with all that said, that's been my 1-year body transformation journey broken down like a brick real quick for you here on Fooladifitness. And some of the main highlights of this journey was learning the handstand, learning the muscle up, hitting 17 pull-ups in a row, hitting 40 push-ups in a row, doing a 100-pound weighted pull-up, a 90-pound weighted dip, and all that other good stuff that you guys can go check out on my Max Out playlist. Now coming back to the close of this body transformation video, it feels like I've only scratched the surface of what I can accomplish with this. I finally put in the hard work necessary to lay down the foundation to eventually build upon. Now with the groundwork and framework finally established, it's time to build upon this and see how far I can take it. And obviously I'm going to be documenting this whole process here on Fooladifitness, so you'll see each and every step that I take. And with that all said, that's gonna wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you did and you still haven't managed to subscribe to the channel yet, make sure that changes right now. And while you're at it, make sure you drop me a like and leave me a comment on what you guys want to see on Fooladifitness, because I'm trying to provide you guys, the people, education, entertainment, and enlightenment. Of course, make sure you turn on that post notification ring bell so you get notified next time I drop some gold for you guys. And last but most definitely not least, make sure you spread the wave and spread the message out there. Once again, it's been your boy here, Ali Fooladi, in the field, in the flesh, the young OG, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains. And I'm out of here. Peace.